Hi, I'm Midge Shoemaker, and today is day 25 of my doing 100 days of YouTube videos and focusing on recognizing God's hand in my life. So, yay, I made it to day 25, quarter of the way through with my videos. Um, really missing my earrings right now. I forgot to bring them over to my parents' house, so no earrings tonight. Um, I know that's just a random side thing. So, recognizing God's hand in my life today, I feel like God was blessing me, protecting me, giving me a lot of peace today, which I didn't know I was needing, but I'm grateful for. I had a phone call this afternoon. My sponsor's roommate called me, and she had stopped breathing and was taken. The neighbors were doing CPR, and the ambulance came and took her to the hospital. And my sponsor's roommate was just freaking out about it. I didn't know what to do. I was just like, she's like, I gotta go to the hospital and I gotta do this, and I just thought I'd call and tell you. And I don't know. God just helped me to stay perfectly calm in that situation and to give me the impression to just talk to her, tell her to just calm down, to breathe, tell her that I would come pick her up and we could go to the hospital together, which I did. I took her to the hospital together, and we talked to the doctors, the nurses, found out that she has pneumonia. And so she's going to be in the hospital for a while. Not looking not looking the best at the moment, but not the worst. So she's going to be in the ICU for at least a couple of days, and then they'll go from there. So it's going to be a long road back if my sponsor gets better, or she may not get better. And right now, they didn't have a whole lot of answers for that. So a little bit scary. It'd be really sad. I love my sponsor. We've known each other for over 10 years, and she's just an amazing lady. So I was kind of, freaking out, brought up a lot of stuff. I talked to one of my Al Anon friends tonight, and we were talking about, she's like, oh, you're talking about a lot of stuff. This must have triggered a bunch of things for you. And I'm like, it did. It did bring up a lot of things. But anytime you deal with grief or traumatic experiences, it connects to all the stuff from the past. It brings everything else up. So it kind of feels like you're dealing with everything all at once, even though you're not really. And I'm grateful that I can kind of separate and see the difference. I'm grateful that I can still make my videos. I'm grateful that I was able to stay calm. Um, and once we found out what my sponsor had, I actually called. We found her. Her roommate brought her her little. Sorry, my brain is just. It's a book. Her address book. There we go. Brought her address book. My brain is having a hard time remembering things. Part of that might just be the whole trauma of everything, and part of it might just be dealing with my own traumas, concussion, post-concussion syndrome things. Anyway, so we had her address book, so we looked up the numbers for her kids, and I called 2 out of 3 of them, and one of them said that the one I didn't call, that the numbers probably weren't valid numbers for that one, and plus he lives out of state, so I'm just going to leave that up to the other ones that live in the state to contact him or let him know what's going on with their mom, with my sponsor. But I was able to call them and talk to them and just be like, hey, just letting you know this is what's going on with your mom, so just so you're aware, and then you can decide what you want to do with that information. Because my sponsor friend is she's intubated and sedated, so they're going to keep her that way for at least 2 days, so she's not able to talk or to respond to anybody, so she can't call and let anybody know what's going on, which is why I needed to make that phone call. And her roommate didn't want to call her daughter who lives in town, because she and her daughter, my sponsor and her daughter, don't get along very well. But I still felt like she needed to know that information, so I called her and talked to her on the phone, and she wanted to know if it was an emergency, if she had to come down to the hospital right now. And I said, well, right now she's stable. This is her condition, and she's pretty much going to be this way for the next 2 days. So whenever you want to come down, whatever you want to do, it's entirely up to you. And then I felt bad leaving the hospital, because I really wanted to stay with my sponsor. I didn't want to leave her by herself, but she's sedated. She can't respond. She's So it's just kind of it's kind of hard. But the nurse said that it was okay. She was there. She's going to take care of her. And once she was in the ICU, we could come during the day and visit. We just couldn't stay overnight. But she was still in the emergency room, so we could stay all night in the emergency room if we wanted to. But I had other things I needed to get to, and I needed to eat. I knew I needed to take care of myself, and I tried to get her roommate to eat. I'm like, I'll even take you out to get something. She's like, no, that's okay. I'm gonna go home and keep, responding to everybody and doing all of this. And I was like, you need to calm down. You need to eat something. You need to take care of yourself. But I had to leave her and let her make that decision for herself, and I was able to come back here and take care of myself. And then one of my Al-Anon friends called me, and we chatted for quite a while. So she was telling me everything going on with her, and then she listened to me and everything that's, all of the details and stuff. And I'm so grateful that she called me and I was able to kind of vent and talk and share and just be like, oh, because my sponsor's roommate also called my sponsor's friend that lives in Tucson. I know lots of people, very confusing. And the friend from Tucson, I'm like, why are you calling her? I'm like, I guess because, they're friends. She should know they've been friends a long time. But at the same time, I'm like, she can't do anything from 2-3 hours away. And not only that, then she's talking to me and she's like, oh, I'm so glad you have such a nice, calming voice and that you're there to help. And I was like, I just love your nice, calming voice. And I'm like, I that kind of registered to me a little bit because I'm like, I am being calm and I am at peace and I am not freaking out. And in the past, I think I would have been crying. I would have been bawling my eyes out. I would have been like, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? And I was at peace today. I was calm. I was praying that my friend would be with God, that God would be taking care of my friend. And I didn't know if she was even still going to be alive when I got to the hospital. And I'm so grateful that she was still alive. Kind of sad that she's in the state that she's in, but just also so grateful for that peace to know that God is taking care of everything and that he was giving me the words and the voice and even the courage to call people I don't know. I don't like making phone calls. Making phone calls freaks me out, especially calling people I don't know. And not only that, I get to call people I don't know and tell them that their mom is in the hospital and on a ventilator and not breathing for herself. I'm like, nobody wants to make that phone call. And I made that phone call. I made 2 of those phone calls, actually. And I'm very proud of myself for doing that, for one. But for 2, I am so grateful to God for helping me, to giving me that peace and that calm that I could have. And not only that, to have other people that I was talking to or dealing with in this situation to thank me for being so calm and for being there. And I was like, yay, I am grateful for that. But I know it's not me. I'm not a naturally calm person. I have anxiety and paranoia and all of those things, and I I usually, break down and freak out, and I'm not breaking down and freaking out. And I was able to stay calm and to be at peace and to pray and to know that God was there and taking care of me and taking care of my sponsor and taking care of everyone involved in this situation. And I feel blessed and I feel loved and I feel grateful. So extremely grateful for the peace and to be able to have that calm voice come out of me to help calm everybody else down, which is amazing gift at this point, especially in this situation. And so I'm grateful for that, and I'm grateful for the added courage and peace that I was able to call and not cry. But I felt like crying when I was calling her kids and telling them what was going on with her. I'm like, I'm gonna cry, and I didn't. And I mean, I did cry a little bit earlier, but I didn't cry at the hospital. I didn't cry in front of other people, and I definitely didn't cry when I was calling their kids and saying, "Oh my gosh, your mom's in the hospital, and it's so horrible," which is the phone call I got from the roommate saying, "Oh my gosh, they took her in the ambulance, and it's so horrible." And I was like, I was not that freaking out voice, and I am so grateful to God for helping me not be that freaking out voice, because inside I think I was wanting to be that freaking out voice and I wanted to start crying, and instead I stayed calm and just repeated what the doctors were telling us and letting them make their own decisions and giving them the number for the hospital and the room that she's in and all of that information and just going from there. And so I am grateful for that, and I am grateful for my friend that called me later tonight so that we could chat and just get all of that out of my system. Maybe not all of it. I'll get a lot more out when I'm journaling tonight, I'm sure, but I am grateful that I did that, and I'm grateful for my friend that called me and said, hey, how are you doing? You've had a rough night. Tell me what's going on. And I am so grateful for that. God just knows what I need, and He has blessed me with that today, especially. And I am so extremely grateful for that. And that is all I have for today. So if you like these videos, you're going to like, subscribe, share with someone else if you think they'll like it too. And I hope you have a great day full of gratitude and find ways to recognize God's hand in your life too.